Welcome to The Mystic Fool. I'm Martin Worth, and this is The Mystic Fool. Pitfalls and the Truth. This podcast was originally one of the first ones that I wanted to talk about, but I kind of got excited about other topics, and so I didn't get back to this one until now. Realistically, I suppose it's a bit of a review. And what I wanted to set up first was, look, one of my guides once said, there are pitfalls on the path of ascension that the enlightened soul must learn to avoid. Now, I'm reading this, okay, that's what it sounds like I'm reading it. You must understand that the game at play in this stage of the cycle of ascension is to understand and therefore be able to navigate and achieve personal spiritual mastery. Yeah, that came through about 12 months ago, at a time when I did actually, it was probably actually 18 months ago now, where I did actually write a course on spiritual mastery, which I did deliver to a group of people, and it was a little bit heavy, and so I am currently in the phases of breaking that course down into smaller modules that people can assimilate more easily. But it really is the instigation behind the Mystic Fool, because there is a game at play, and there are entrapments, and people get kind of so far along the spiritual path and fall for some of the more groovy things that are happening, or the more sexy kind of things that are happening. Insert word here. Now, I'm not saying that the spiritual path's all about seriousness and doing the right thing, because that ain't what it is at all. But guys, it's not all about unicorns and rainbows either. It's not always a path that's easy. And what I see is people who get attracted to the easy path, and I guess it's really spiritual bypassing that they're doing. They get involved in all kinds of groovy things and kind of maybe think they're doing the work, but maybe they're just having a good time. Maybe having a good time's okay, because realistically, here we are in this lifetime, and who doesn't want to have a good time? But there's a flip side, isn't there, to having a good time? And that's having a good time that has the capability of continuing to be good. And sometimes some of the things that people get involved in may seem good to start with, but end up being a dead end or a pitfall, or maybe lead to what I would call an entrapment, So what's an entrapment? It's kind of where you get led into a spiritual candy shop of really good things, and then find out you can't get back out the door, hey? Hey, look, in my work as a healing practitioner, I see a lot of people coming to me where they've had awakenings, and those awakenings have been cool to start with, but then those awakenings have sort of sidestepped their life, and some people even find themselves be quite out of control, whether it's through an addiction perhaps to something. Doesn't necessarily need to be a substance. Whether it's through a spirit guide who seemed to be kosher to start with, but after a while just became voices in the head, and then the voices in the head started to control that person's thoughts and what they felt and how they felt about things. And these are very real things. Stepping into ceremony with someone can, hey look, I'm just going to put it plainly, it can be quite dangerous. A lot of people get hooked into the idea of holding a ceremony for this or a ceremony around that. Man, whatever the intent of that original ceremony might have been, well, that intent still exists within space-time continuum. And sometimes the intent behind some of those ceremonies may not be suitable for what you are actually after. Sometimes those ceremonies, when they were created with magic, were intended only for those who had the wisdom, those who had gone through certain initiations. And sometimes those ceremonies hold protections against people who may stumble upon them that haven't followed those initiations. And perhaps a little bit like there are guards on those things. Guys, I'm not trying to talk fearfully here, just saying that you need to be careful where you tread in the world of spirit. Yeah, you know, when I did the survey before I started the Mystic Fool podcast, I got some interesting responses back from people. Here's some of the stuff that they said. I'm reading this. In this world of the internet, it's easy to find spiritual guidance, but it's not always good guidance. Someone else said, spiritual matters seem to have so many different meanings to different people. And another comment was, there are lots of options for spiritual practices, but each one has a slightly different spin. Other people have said, spiritual guidance is way too easy to find. And this one resonated with me. For the person who's searching for answers, it's very confusing. And each practice provides promises of being the one. Yeah. These may resonate with you. In fact, you may be listening to this and it might be your comment that I'm reading out. And if that's the case, thank you for your comment. Or, you know, it may get to the point where you just give up. Someone said, I feel like I'm in overload. And I'm decluttering my life from that overload. Yeah. It can be a bit much sometimes, hey? You know, the idea behind the Mystic Fool is to provide a perspective, a truth, perhaps, a version of truth for you guys to have a listen to and for you to test yourself and think, well, yeah, that resonates with me, or no, it doesn't. And, you know, the thing is, the truth, yeah. How do you know it's the truth? And I guess, realistically, there is a safeguard. And that safeguard is this. The truth has a ring to it. You know, and that ring may not necessarily be the thing that you thought it should be. That little feeling in your gut that says, yeah, this is right. Might not be what you thought it should be. It might not be the sexiest, greatest option. But you might know, hey, yeah, that's the path that I need to take. And there's other path, which looks kind of juicy and great and exciting. That one's not the direction I need to take right now. I've got some shadow work to do. I've got to clear some stuff. Yeah. See, if I tell you a truth of a situation, the thing is, at least I know that I've served you to hear the ring of that truth and for that to resonate somewhere within you. And for you then to have the option of either following that thread or not. I've delved behind the veil quite a bit in my spiritual practice, and especially dealing with clients. And I've seen the range of issues that are seeded from past lives, from ancestral trauma, from entity invasion, soul fractures, all kinds of things. And I've seen how people become entrapped in these things and have been tricked. And I've also seen how people have managed to work their way out of it. And it doesn't have to be hard. I guess what I'm really driving at here is I want an opportunity to tell you guys how I see it from what I've seen with my experience. I want the opportunity to put viewpoints forward here. And I used to accept what people would say to me, even though sometimes I thought it wasn't in their best interests. And I tried to sort of explain things to people in a more palatable fashion. But realistically, I think I've just got to tell it straight. If what I've seen, no matter how exciting it may look, like the podcast I did on twin flames, however romantic it might look, guys, if there's a pitfall in that I can see, that Spirit's revealed to me, I'm going to call it out. And of course I'm going to leave it up to you to decide how you want to deal with it. Yeah, so this podcast is a bit of a catch-up, really, with what's happened so far. I really do hope you've found some truths. I know some of you have found some truths because I've been getting some awesome comments back from people. I thank you so much for taking the time to comment, for taking the time to email me. This little one-way channel of talking out a podcast, it's just so exciting to hear back from people that it's hitting the spot for them. So please email me with your thoughts at themysticfool@martinworth.com. I will respond to you. Or if you're able to put a comment on this podcast, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, hey, look, please like my channel. Please like the video or the episode. Please, give me a comment. If you do that, I'm sure my algorithm will go up and more people will have an opportunity to listen to this. And that's what I'm really looking for here, for more people to have the opportunity to hear that truth that has a ring to it. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Be well. See ya.